Hello everybody, MegaZardX here, back at it again to give you another very exciting video. And yes, we're in the high time season of summer gaming. We're just recently off the heels of the Summer Game Fest presentation, as well as the Xbox Showcase though. So the last major company out there ready to go is Nintendo, with their Nintendo Direct coming some point in the month of June though. So we know that they're going to come out with some heavy bangers and stuff like that to save the day in terms of this season of summer gaming though. So in today's video, I just want to go through my overall predictions of what I can kind of expect for them to show, at least within their Nintendo Direct though. So if you hadn't already done so, make sure to go and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video. So in terms of predictions, we already have to address, the big elephant in the room. They already said in the opening statement at their last financial report that there's going to be no mention of the Nintendo Switch 2 or its successor. So we know not to make any kind of predictions based upon that though, but we know it's going to be primarily based upon the second half of 2024, anything after probably the Nintendo World Championships NES edition that's going to release in July. So anything beyond that month is probably going to be fair game though. So the first thing I think they're going to come out and show for this one Direct is going to be new Mario Party game. Now, I feel like, we're about due for a new Mario Party game because, Mario Party games and, in general, they usually pump those suckers out every few years or so. And then, believe it or not, it's already been about roughly 3 years or so since the last game we got would have been Mario Party Superstars, though. And that was a great, phenomenal game, taking together all of the different aspects from the Mario Party games from the 64 era within 1, 2, and 3, and incorporating some of their boards and stuff, and then having, mini games and stuff, not only within that era, but obviously the GameCube era onward though. So I think we could get another Mario Party game similar to that. Question is, will we get another Super Mario Party game, like a Super Mario Party 2, which will be like another mainline entry in terms of like the number entries? I guess that could be a direction that Nintendo could be going for the Mario Party series moving forward. Or do we get a little bit of GameCube love? And do we get a Mario Party game that's like a Superstar style, but we get the boards that are kind of representative from, Mario Party 4, 5, 6, and 7? That's what I'm kind of leaning more so on. We did see a lot of GameCube love already with the remake of Thousand Year Door that released earlier this year, though. So, that's at least where my gut's kind of sitting and residing right now, though. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and predict we're going to get another new Mario Party game. Be showcased off as the first announcement or somewhere probably at least within the first half of their presentation. Next up, I'm going to say they're going to showcase off Metroid Prime 2. Now, already we had Metroid Prime Remaster already on the Switch though. And I feel like, in the lead up to Metroid Prime 4, we're probably going to get all of these remasters of the first 3 games to kind of drum up interest and just kind of let people know, yes, this is a series and stuff that we're working up towards for Metroid Prime 4 though. I don't think they're going to go like well beyond the stuff that they managed to do within the first remaster though, but just get some, basic additions and stuff done within this game that makes it shine just well enough, and then just to kind of ship it out the door though, because obviously we know with Nintendo, the second half of this year, you ain't gonna put out like big major hitters and stuff like that right before your new console comes out though. So, an easy port job or like a remaster job that you're able to do, or even a remake, I think that will apply for Metroid, which, since I brought up Metroid Prime 2, a lot of y'all might be thinking, well, what about Metroid Prime 4? I don't think they're going to showcase that off in this presentation. Some people are kind of thinking, yes, Metroid could get a little bit of a blowout. We could finally see Metroid Prime 4. I don't think we're going to see Metroid Prime 4 until they announce the successor for the Nintendo Switch. And then within that one game that they might showcase off heavily and extensively, I think then you're going to see Metroid Prime 4, and it's going to be kind of like the Breath of the Wild, like the Nintendo Switch was, and how we're going to have it released on the Switch as well as the Switch 2, though. So at least that's where my gut's kind of residing right now. Next up, I have Fire Emblem Genealogy of a Holy War. Now, we know another Fire Emblem game is in the making. Believe Nintendo is probably just sitting on this game right now though. It's just more so a question of when they want to release this though. And when you're trying to get some remakes, ports, or remasters out the door though, this is just going to be an easy one, especially if it's already done. So this is more so the matter of fact that are Nintendo going to pull the trigger up on this one and release it now? Because it's already been a decent amount of time since we had Fire Emblem Engage. So do they pull the trigger now, or do they wait and showcase this all for the Switch successor, and then maybe have that one be like a release for the Switch and Switch 2? I don't know. Both possibilities are possible, but I do believe, at least within this one, I think that there is a good chance they're going to go ahead and showcase this off in this direct. All right, so next up, everybody and their mama has been longly awaiting Legend of Zelda Wind Waker or Twilight Princess to show up on the Nintendo Switch. Like, this literally feels like the Nessie, like the Loch Ness Monster, your mythical creature that everybody's been hunting for, like, I felt like the past 4 to 5 years for the Nintendo Switch stuff. And I'll go out and on a limb and say yes. I feel like now's the time. It's either now or never we're going to get one of these two games, though. But here's the real kicker. I think we're only going to get one of these games, though, because Nintendo has been, really strong and adamant on them releasing a Legend of Zelda game every single year. Why on earth would they give you two Legend of Zelda games in the same year, especially considering how Tears of the Kingdom came out last year? And, they kind of, stretched thin, at least in terms of being able to give out new Zelda games every single year. Yes, I feel like the Oracle game is going to be remade at some point, though. But why would you give two Legend of Zelda games to us within 1 year? Instead, why wouldn't you just space them out there? There's no way they're giving us both of these as a duology pack for $60. Like, if I'm Nintendo over here, I'm charging you $60 for Wind Waker. I'm charging you $60 for Twilight Princess, though. So at least what my gut is saying to me is we're gonna get the older game to show up first. So I'm thinking and predicting we're only going to get Legend of Zelda Wind Waker announced at this presentation and released some point later this year, but we will not get any mention to Twilight Princess. That's my call. You may not necessarily like it, though, but watch something funky happen. Or if it's not Wind Waker, watch it be Twilight Princess and not Wind Waker, something weird like that, though. But that's how I feel like the Legend of Zelda games might be possibly handled. All right, so we went through 4 big major games that could possibly be showcased and revealed at this presentation, though, but there's going to be a little bit of smaller stuff too. Things are not as big and as flashy, though, but one of the most consistent series out there is Kirby. So I feel like Kirby's going to get another game. Kirby's the most consistent Nintendo character out there in terms of just consistently getting games almost year after year, with an exception of maybe an off year, give or take. But I feel like there's going to be a quick, easy eShop game that, they're going to do for the Kirby series and just kind of put it out there. It might be $15, $20 at most. It's an extreme budget title or something like that, though. It might be something kind of racing, though. Man, I would love to see a Kirby's Air Ride. I'm not going to predict that, though. But man, if they would even dare to do something like that, I'm just saying, though. But yeah, some quick, easy Kirby game is going to be announced and revealed for an eShop release. Could be a shadow drop, but we'll see. All right, and then some point during the presentation, probably towards the middle of it, we'll probably get a reveal of some more Nintendo Switch Online games coming to the Nintendo service, though. We're gonna get some Game Boy games, probably some GBA games, maybe some 64 if we're lucky, though. But it'll be weird because I don't think we're gonna get any Sega Genesis stuff. It's been a long time since we got a brand new game within that system, though, but I ain't expecting anything on that, though. But hopefully we might get something kind of cool from Rare. Like, could we get Donkey Kong 64 or Diddy Kong's Racing? I'm just kind of putting that out there, though. I would love to see Conker's Bad Fur. So maybe we'll get another kind of drop of Rare games and stuff like that. Oh, but then I also thought about Super Smash Bros. 64. We hadn't had that game revealed revealed for the NSO service just yet. It's like one of the last major first-party games for the 64, and we still don't have that in the service yet, though. So I don't know. I'm expecting something within the Nintendo Switch Online service as well, though. I don't think we're going to get another, like, F-Zero 99 or anything like that. That would be kind of a welcoming surprise, though. But I think we might get some updates for F-Zero, though. But outside of that, that's all I'm expecting, at least for updates for NSO games. And lastly, we're going to have that major one more thing from Nintendo. And we're going to already have a really good show at this point, though. It's not going to be the most thing out there, though. Mostly remakes and remasters up until this point, though. But they're going to try to surprise us at least a little bit within this one. And actually show this one Nintendo first-party characters franchise off in a way that we hadn't seen in a little over a decade. And yes, I'm talking about my old-fashioned boy, Donkey Kong Slammer, my boy DK. I feel like DK, this is going to be his year. If you hadn't already known, Donkey Kong Country series is going to be turning 30 years old. And I feel like we might get something akin to Super Mario All-Stars, but with the Donkey Kong treatment. And literally, they can just throw up a game and say, hey, here's Donkey Kong Country 1, here's Donkey Kong Country 2, 3, Returns, Tropical Freeze, and maybe they'll throw some other love and stuff for some other Donkey Kong franchises that's kind of outside of the country stuff though, and make the stems to be like a couple announcements, like maybe all the country games are in one thing though. Then they decide, hey, we're gonna give you Donkey Kong 64 and with a Nintendo Switch Online service, and maybe a little bit of Diddy Kong's Racing and stuff, and maybe they have some kind of other collection thing or something, or maybe they throw more DK games on the NSO service for like classic things like maybe Donkey Kong Jungle Beat or something like that, or some other Donkey Kong games that are related to this though. But I feel like this is definitely going to be his year. You have to kind of keep in mind, at least within the Nintendo theme parks and stuff, they are opening up a whole new Donkey Kong section and stuff like that though. I just feel like it's time to give DK some love. I would love to see a brand new 2D Donkey Kong game or a 3D one. I'd love to predict that as well. But I don't know, it'll be a little bit weird for them to release a big major game like that right before the Nintendo Switch successor comes out though. But I don't know, maybe this is going to be an ongoing rolling thing, and then maybe we could see a brand new 2D or 3D Donkey Kong game in the following year. They could actually announce that as its own separate thing along with like a DK All-Stars thing that's going to drop out this year though. So go ahead and throw that prediction out there though, because we know most of these games going to be in 2024, but there's going to be some games beyond in 2025 though. So in this whole entire DK section, they're going to end with the new 2D or 3D game, saying at some point in 2025, just leave that window frame right there. But in the meantime, for the 2024 stuff, we'll get like this DK overall collection things from spanning from all these different DK properties. So that is my wish, my major pie in the sky kind of wish right there though. I really want this to be the thing, because believe it or not, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, the last game we got in the series, it's literally almost been a whole stinking decade. I think it's about time to give Donkey Kong some love, and especially considering how we're coming up on its 30th anniversary, at least within the Return series franchise right here though. But yeah, that's basically all of my major predictions, at least within this one Nintendo Direct that are first party wise. There could be some third party interesting things though. Maybe we'll get the Dragon Quest HD 2D thing kind of showcase and reveal though. Ubisoft might come out with something like a Just Dance or something or whatever though. It's a lot harder to predict the third parties than it is the first party though, especially considering how so many third parties could be potentially showcased off in that Summer Game Fest thing, and then they might just miss the Nintendo Direct though. So that's why I usually primarily focus on just the first party games though. But yeah, that's gonna basically do it, at least for my predictions. Yeah, so that's gonna basically do it in terms of all of the predictions I had to go through and discuss about for this upcoming June Nintendo Direct though. There's gonna be a lot of good, interesting things to kind of expect. In terms of like brand new big major games, I wouldn't be expecting anything like on the lines of like a new 3D Mario or a brand new 3D Zelda. Nothing that big. I think the Donkey Kong thing is probably the biggest stretch. You might get one game like that though, but they'll just say the vague 2025 though. But if they were to mention it, that means it will come to the Switch and the Switch 2 though, so you have to kind of keep that in mind though. So that might hold up a bunch of different announcements though. But I feel like I might, at least out of the list I managed to make right here, at least 2 or 3 of these things are very likely possible to happen, at least within this one show from Nintendo though. But you gotta let me know down in the comment section down below what all you think about my predictions, and let me know about your predictions in those comments. Like, am I kind of close to the nose with what you might be possibly thinking, or do you have some other plans in mind though? But that's gonna basically do it in terms of today's video though. So if you really like this, make sure you go and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. So remember y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.